There is a small problem with Toyotas that I have. Look at that. First of all, look, I unlatched the bonnet, and to unlatch the bonnet, they have, if you cannot see inside, they'll have this latch, right? Now, since my father bought this Corolla, the hatch won't open, right? It won't go left, it won't go right. You can see that, and then on top of that, it's daytime and the car is dirty. I can show that there are marks of the hand they have dented the bonnet while trying to close it. Oh, no matter what you do, that thing, just get the lights, if it can, lights would work. I don't think it will work, but anyhow, all I am trying to say is that won't move. That just won't move. It's supposed to move to the left and unlock. But the more you move, the more you bend that thing. And my camera won't. Is that the right way? Is the right way, or that the right way? But if you could see, the one that's supposed to move, the arm that is supposed to move has bent. Okay. All right, back to talking. This is supposed to move this way, but if you do that, I mean, see, anyone who has bought this car new, he won't be able to know that. You'll try to do this. This, from that small gap, this movement is just not possible. Nobody knows how to do this. Nobody has ever anticipated that's how you're supposed to do. In that case, what happens? They end up bending this thing. Nobody wanted that. But Toyota had to do that shit, didn't they? It is terrible garbage. And this looks shady as fuck. I don't trust any of that. Except, of course, the Toyota motor, which is great. Time tested, what you can say. Everything you want from Toyota, they'll sell it to you even 25, 30 years later from a war zone, maybe Yemen or Syria, who gives a shit. The bonnet, as I said, which we call hood in the West, is already bent by people trying to force it closed, okay? So if I were supposed to, excuse my hand for a while. If I were supposed to close it, it won't close easily. That's how it's closing. See that? Don't tell me that is a fault from a new car. So while I'm trying to close this, my hand has left a dent. There are small dents all over the body. And now that is closed. Another thing I'm going to show you is the trunk. That's the trunk, or the boot as they say in England. It's light, but every time you open, you know that there is a chance it's going to break. Because it's too light. Because it is having a problem, that is, it won't be stable. Good thing they didn't use any struts in there. It's just a series of springs, so it'll last longer. But when you open it, it's like, you see that? Carelessness would damage it. Then there is this thing, the lock. It's plastic. I mean, no, there's steel thing inside. The latch is steel, this is steel. But after a few uses, it'll be a nightmare to try to close it. My father used to have a Yaris, which he sold, I think, 2 years back. And what happened was, trying to close it damaged this. I think that, or the latch, or the hook. So trying to close became a nightmare. So you had to keep smashing the boot many times to lock it. Not such a big problem in a Corolla. right? Another thing, these days the bumpers are not really good. They never were, but it's been since 15 years, I think. The bumpers are never so good. They easily break. Then it comes to the body. That's a Pepsi can. Of course, yes, it's some crumpled zone shit, but small dent means your car is just a write-off. Okay. What Toyota's trying to do is keep the weight light, so fuel consumption will be better. It'll be faster. It'll consume lesser brake. Yada yada yada. At the end of the day, they focus on quality with the engine, the gearbox, and some mechanical components. But I'm not buying it since quality has been compromised in a huge. Let's say, what's the right word? I don't know. Whatever. There have been huge quality compromises. Now, what about the transmission? Transmission is great. I try to shift it. It's not laggy at all. I try to do it in manual mode when I'm driving with my father around. It's not my car. I don't take it off. I have another one. I can't really say this particular example has, I think, 55,000 kilometers. 59,000 kilometers, so it's just too early to pass a judgment. For a new vehicle, it's nice, alright, but for a car that has traveled 200,000 kilometers, I don't know how's that gonna hold up. Toyotas don't have much electrical faults like the Evils, Range Rovers and BMWs and Chevrolets, and since they keep everything simple, they're easy to repair. Yes, parts are easy to source. The engine, the gearbox, all these, they're gonna be great. But the bodies, they are a fucking nightmare. Another thing that my father had was this ERS from 2014, right? So, when there are like 4 people seated in a car, it would touch a speed bump, which is higher than a foot. If there are 4 people seated in the car, the floor, the ground, I don't know what they call it, the under chassis would scrape on the speed bump, and you couldn't even carry much weight. Those cars are made for salesmen who don't carry much weight. I think even these is not that. It's not for a whole family. Yeah, that's what I could say. These cars are not for family. That's the one that I'm talking about. That is exactly the same one he had. When 4 or 5 people sat in it, no way it's not touching a speed bump. So any good Toyota would be a Camry, I think, or a Lexus, if you have a bigger family or you want quality concerns. But from my point of view, Toyota is not making good cars. They're just living off their goodwill. They know that from which places they get quality materials, and they just use the goodwill to make a Toyota that is supposed to be selling in every part of the world for a higher resale value compared to, let's say, what is a good example? I don't know. None of them are a good example these days. Longer shelf life, longer usage life. Maybe Honda is good, but Hondas are expensive. Mitsubishi is totally bankrupted. Nissan never made good gearbox. Everybody knows that. So what you're left with is compromises. That's all I could say. So I don't want to elongate this much. I hope Toyota execs ever get this video, right? I don't think I have anything to speak. Buyers, they know that what they have to buy and what they compromise and how to get around it when they're driving around or purchasing their vehicles. Anyway, thanks for tuning in and have a great day.